Okay, so when I say the word yoga, what's the first image that pops into your head? For a lot of us, right, it's probably some crazy looking pose or maybe a really sweaty workout class. But what if I told you that's just the tiniest tip of the iceberg? Today, we're going to go way beyond the mat to uncover the ancient principles that actually make yoga a powerful blueprint for a truly balanced life.
So yeah, let's just tackle that question head on. Is yoga just another workout? I mean, look, the physical benefits are amazing. You can't deny that. But if you dig into its ancient origins, well, you find a purpose that is so much more profound.
And this right here, this definition comes to us from the sage Patanjali, and we're talking over 2,000 years ago. This is pretty much the cornerstone of what yoga is really all about. And you'll notice, he says nothing about touching your toes. So what on earth is he trying to tell us here?
What it means is that yoga is the practice of calming that constant chatter in our heads. You know the one I'm talking about? That turbulence? Those endless waves of thoughts? That's the core challenge yoga is trying to solve. So think of it less like a workout for your body and more like a workout for your consciousness.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into what yoga really is. Then, we'll look at a practical daily blueprint for living. After that, we'll map out our inner world, which is super cool. We'll explore the art of the practice itself, and then we'll wrap it all up by taking it beyond the mat.
So let's get into it, and we're going to start at the very beginning. Because to really get a handle on the principles of yoga, you got to understand the words themselves. They really create the framework for everything else we're about to cover.
So let's break this down, because this is really cool. Principle, it's not just a rule, right? It comes from a word meaning foundation or source. It's a guiding law. And then you have yoga, from the Sanskrit use, which means to yoke or to unite. So when you stick them together, the principles of yoga are literally the foundational guides for uniting our mind, body, and spirit. It all just clicks into place.
And these guiding principles, they kind of fall into three big buckets that we're going to dive into. You've got your lifestyle principles, the stuff that shapes our day-to-day. Then you've got the deeper philosophical principles from the ancient texts, the ones that map our inner reality. And finally, the principles that guide the actual practice itself.
Now, this is where all that philosophy gets super practical. We're going to look at the 10 yukt principles. And yukt just means right or correct. Think of this as your daily blueprint for right living, stuff you can start applying every single day.
And it all starts with something we all do, multiple times a day, eating. See, in yoga, food isn't just fuel for your body, it's fuel for your mind. The goal is what's called a sattvic diet, focusing on these pure, harmonious foods like fresh fruits and veggies that just create mental clarity. At the same time, you're just being mindful of rajasic foods, the stimulating stuff like caffeine, and tamasic foods, the processed stuff that can make you feel kind of sluggish and dull. And this whole idea of right living, it doesn't stop with food. It extends to how we act. You've got yuktachara, or right conduct, which is all about our personal ethics, things like nonviolence, ahimsa, and truthfulness, satya. Then there's yukt vyavahara, which is basically about how we behave out in the world, in society. And I love this last one, yukt vihara, or right recreation. It's about choosing activities that actually genuinely restore you, not just distract you.
And of course, we come right back to the mind. Yukt vichara, right thought, is an active practice. It's about consciously cultivating positive thoughts, and when a negative one pops up, you counter it with its opposite. So powerful. And then there's yukt chesta, right desires. This is a big one. It's learning to tell the difference between what you truly need and what you just kind of want. That distinction, that is a shortcut to inner freedom, for sure. Okay, now for the body. Yoga presents this beautiful, totally balanced system. It's not just about exercise, it's about right exercise, moving with awareness, not with aggression or force. And that's balanced with right breathing to control our energy and calm the nervous system. And this is so crucial, right relaxation and sleep. You have to give the body time to rest, heal, and absorb all the work you've done.
All right, so we've got our daily blueprint for living. Now let's go a layer deeper. The ancient yogic texts, they give us this absolutely fascinating map of our inner world. It's like looking at the subtle architecture of who we really are.
Okay, this concept is it's amazing. Yoga suggests that we aren't just this physical body we see in the mirror. No, it says we have 5 interconnected layers, or koshas. So you've got the physical body, sure, the food sheath, but then there's the energy body, the mental body, the wisdom body, and right at the core, the bliss body. The entire point of the practice is to get all 5 of these layers humming in perfect harmony.
And get this, everything in the universe, and that includes our own state of mind, can be described by these three basic qualities, or gunas. So you have tamas, which is that feeling of inertia, heaviness, or dullness. Then you have rajas, which is all that restless, frantic, gotta keep moving energy. And then there's sattva, which is that beautiful state of balance, purity, and clarity. And the whole goal of our practice, it's to dial down the tamas and rajas and crank up the sattva.
And the map just keeps getting more detailed. The philosophy also says we're made up of the 5 great elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. And on top of that, all our bodily functions are run by 5 different vital energies, the pranas. So a huge part of yoga is learning to work with and balance all these fundamental forces inside of us.
Okay, so we have the daily blueprint, we've got the map of our inner world, but how do we actually do it? How do we put this all into practice? Let's get into the real nitty-gritty now, the 5 W's and the how.
And we have to start with the biggest question of all, the most important one. With all this incredible deep philosophy, what's the point? What's the ultimate goal? Why are we doing any of this?
And the answer, well, it's pretty profound. The purpose is so much bigger than just getting flexible. It's about achieving true holistic health, mind, body, and spirit. It's about building self-discipline and really getting to the root of what causes us to suffer. The ultimate goal is to realize a state of absolute inner freedom. The texts call it kaivalya, or liberation.
Okay, so with that massive goal in mind, let's bring it back down to earth. Let's talk logistics. How, when, and where should you actually be practicing to help you on that journey?
The how is absolutely key. You always want to start by centering yourself, just getting present. Then, move through your main practices gradually, no rushing. And please, never ever skip the relaxation at the end. It's so important. As for when, well, the ideal time is that magical early dawn hour, when the world is still quiet and your mind is super calm. And for where, just find a clean, quiet, well-ventilated spot, a place that's free from distractions.
Wow, okay. We have covered a ton of ground, haven't we? From daily lifestyle stuff to deep philosophy to the nuts and bolts of practice. So for this last part, let's zoom out and pull it all together and see how this becomes a complete system for how we live.
And this right here might just be the most important takeaway of all. The poses, the breathing exercises, the meditation. Those are just the tools in the toolbox. The real practice, the real yoga, is taking that feeling of peace and awareness you cultivate on your mat and weaving it into every single moment of your life. It really drives home the point. Yoga isn't something you do. It's a way you live.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on, just to reflect on. Looking back at everything we talked about, from right food to right thought, from conscious recreation to just simple, deep relaxation, which one? Just one. Which one of these powerful principles could you begin to invite into your life starting today?